And we are very grateful, extremely grateful to all of you and to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who made this auspicious occasion very possible. Srila Prabhupada is amazing. He's effulgently beautifying all of us in this wonderful, wonderful Sringasan.
Prabhupada spoke about 5 kinds of liberation. And I was impressed. I was thinking that liberation is the goal of life. And Prabhupada is speaking about 5 kinds of liberation. I mean, and that was so impressive. And then it came to a place, I mean, it's all within 2-3 pages. Prabhupada is mentioning that God is a person. And that struck me for the first time. God is a person. God is not just some light or some such energy or something. God is a person. And He is Krishna. And that was it. My understanding became completely clear. And the goal of life is to get to know Him and surrender unto Him. So I was so affected by that book that I kept on reading till I fell asleep. Actually, the book was on my head and I was by the side of my pillow and I fell asleep. I was reading lying on the bed. And when I got up, the first thing I did is to pick up the book, Nectar of Devotion, and start reading again. Disappointed, I left that place. Now, when I was just going back, maybe to my tent, I saw Bhavananda Prabhu is coming with a basket full of vegetables. He is holding like this, the basket. And he saw me on the way and he told me that he was going to see Srila Prabhupada. And he said, come, I'm going to Srila Prabhupada. So I just followed him. And so that devotee who was guarding, he just fell flat, offering obeisances to Bhavananda Prabhu. And I followed him inside. When I came in front of Prabhupada's tent, from outside the tent, I could see Srila Prabhupada inside the tent. And just seeing him, I fell down and offered obeisances. In the meantime, Bhavananda Prabhu naturally just went inside. So after offering obeisances, when I was about to go inside the tent, at the entrance of the tent, there was Rameshwar Swami. He was Prabhupada's secretary at that time. So he stopped me. He said, Prabhupada is taking prasad now, don't go in. Again disappointed, and I started to curse myself. Why did I offer obeisances from outside? I could have gone inside the tent with Bhavananda Prabhu and I could have offered obeisances there. I started feeling I'm so stupid. I missed such a golden opportunity to meet Srila Prabhupada. Anyway, disappointed, I left. And by that time I realized that it is extremely difficult to go anywhere near Srila Prabhupada. And I felt that is justified. Prabhupada by that time had more than 6,000 disciples and thousands of followers. And I was thinking, who am I to have any attention of Srila Prabhupada? Who am I to go near Srila Prabhupada? So I gave up my hope for going anywhere near Srila Prabhupada. And Sridhar Swami, one of our senior godbrothers, was organizing devotees to go out and book distribution. So I joined that team, went out distributing books. The whole day I spent distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. And the whole day means we went out in the afternoon after lunch. And in the evening when I came back, I found that Prabhupada Darshan already started. And the tent was packed. And somehow I squeezed inside. And I saw Srila Prabhupada. And that sight was so overwhelming that I lost consciousness of everything. Only thing that I was aware of, that my heart is going boom, boom. And I think that's the first time I experienced what ecstasy actually meant. It is something that happens to your heart that makes you forget about everything else. And that's exactly what happened to me at that time. Like, the only thing that I think I was aware of is that feeling in my heart. And hearing, actually, distinctly hearing the sound. My heart is pounding very heavily. And then when I came back to my senses, I saw Srila Prabhupada was speaking, answering questions. And I didn't have any question to ask. I just, from a distance, I was just happy. I was just satisfied seeing Srila Prabhupada. I didn't want anything else. All I wanted is just to be there and see him. And then after breakfast, Bhavananda Prabhu came to me and he said, tonight Prabhupada is leaving. So I told him, yes, I already heard that. And he told me that he'll be traveling by train and a small group of devotees will be accompanying Srila Prabhupada, and you have been included in that group. So I literally started to jump with ecstasy with that. And actually, you'll also see that Bhavananda Maharaj actually helped me so much in my coming close to Srila Prabhupada. So he included me, and I knew that he included me in that team. Because those who were traveling with Srila Prabhupada were just very, very senior devotees, sannyasis, GBCs. And so I was included in that team. At night, Prabhupada started, the train started. Many devotees were standing there to see Srila Prabhupada off. And I remember when the train started to move, I stood by the door of the compartment and I was waving at them. Kind of declaring my good fortune of traveling with Srila Prabhupada. So train started at night, so we went to sleep soon after that, after the train started to move. And we took rest at night. In the morning, I was chanting. And so it must have been around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And arrangement was made, like one first-class carriage was hooked on to a Calcutta-bound train. And the whole carriage was for Srila Prabhupada. And just the carriage can take, I think, about 30, 40 people, but there were only about 14 devotees traveling. So there's plenty of space. And anyway, so I was chanting, sitting alone in my compartment. Then Bhavananda Maharaj came and said, "Come, I'll take you to Srila Prabhupada." Now all this while I was dying to meet Srila Prabhupada. And when he came and said, "Come, I'll take you to Srila Prabhupada," when it became a reality, I felt something that I'm not qualified to go near Srila Prabhupada. I was afraid that Prabhupada would see all the dirt in my heart, all the sins that I have committed in the past, and maybe Prabhupada would reject me. With the kind of feeling that I had, and I kind of just didn't make any move. I just sat there dazed. So Bhavananda Prabhu just held me by my hand. dragged me through the corridor, opened the door of Prabhupada's compartment, and pushed me in. I fell flat on the ground, offering obeisances. When I got up, I saw Srila Prabhupada was looking at me. And Prabhupada was sitting. First class compartments had two seats facing each other. Prabhupada was sitting on one seat, and the other seat were facing that seat of Prabhupada. There were Rameshwar Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj, and Bhavananda Maharaj. And Abhiram Prabhu, who was the temple president at that time in Calcutta, he was sitting on the floor. So, and Prabhupada was sitting there, and Prabhupada motioned, "You sit here." Prabhupada asked me to sit next to him. I said, "Prabhupada, I'll just sit on the floor." But Prabhupada insisted, no, you sit there. So I pulled up the blanket that was spread over the bed, over the seat for Srila Prabhupada. I rolled it and sat in the corner. And then Prabhupada asked a few questions, just a few, two, three, few initial exchanges. And then Prabhupada told me, "You translate my books into Bengali." And this is how now I got the opportunity to be with Srila Prabhupada practically the whole day, 24 hours practically. Oh, by the time I was already got initiated, on the day, just the day before initiation, I was told that Prabhupada decided, I was told that I was getting first initiation. But the day before the initiation, Brahmananda Prabhu, who also was kind of acting as Prabhupada's secretary, he told me that Prabhupada decided to give me second initiation also. And he was also very happy. He told me that, "You know something? This is the first time Prabhupada is doing something like that. He's giving first and second initiation together." So, and then Prabhupada, after Mayapur festival, Prabhupada was to go to Bombay. So there was a big program arranged for Prabhupada in Cross Maidan. And so I was meant to go also with Prabhupada. And so Bhavananda Prabhu just told me that, "You see, you have so much to do here. So don't go with Srila Prabhupada." And that really broke my heart. And already Bhavananda Prabhu had done so much for me that I couldn't argue with him or insist that, "No, I'm going to go." Because, when he said that don't go with Srila Prabhupada, I just accepted, okay. Although my heart was aching. And he consoled me saying that, service in separation is higher than higher than personal service. I heard with my ears, but that reasonings didn't reach my heart. So I was feeling so despondent, so disappointed. And so then the day before Srila Prabhupada was to leave, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why, Prabhupada asked me, "Aren't you coming?" So I said, then I just blurted out, like a whole passage. "Srila Prabhupada, no, I am not coming because Bhavananda Maharaj told me that service in separation is greater than service from personal service. I just kept on just repeating what he said. Then Prabhupada listened and he said, yes, that may be, but when your spiritual master wants you to serve him, I think you should come with him. So I just...
I wanted to just share a little bit about His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj because he's so very dear to so many devotees all over the world. And most importantly, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj is very dear to Srila Prabhupada. And whomever is dear to Srila Prabhupada, as we know, is dear to their lordships. As most of you know, many of you are his disciples, but there are some that may not know that actually in 1976 he met Srila Prabhupada, and there's quite a beautiful story about how Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada. This is a story that it would be nice for everyone to know this pastime, because I just know the little part, I just remember the little part about him being pushed in the room, and he was nervous to meet Srila Prabhupada, and he was pushed in the room by one of his godbrothers, and he fell at the feet of Srila Prabhupada, and that was it. That was it for him. Srila Prabhupada gave His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj so much mercy, because from that very day, he was instructed by his Guru Maharaj to translate Srila Prabhupada's books in Bengali. We know His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj as being Mr. Mayapur, Sri Mayapur Dham. Not only did he have a voice, but he also had a presence. And that presence we can see all over the world. If any of you have been to Ujjain, where he recently, not a few years ago, I remember the opening, where he offered another very glorious temple to Srila Prabhupada, for Srila Prabhupada's mercy, for Srila Prabhupada's benediction. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj and my Guru Maharaj would embrace each other in such a way that we can understand it's only coming from the spiritual world. And Maharaj would offer him his own room, his own bed. I know so many times my Guru Maharaj would just be so grateful, so absolutely grateful. So the residents of Gitanagari, we are eternally grateful. We are eternally grateful to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And we are so grateful to see an example of someone that has followed the instruction of their spiritual master since day one. Since day one. I am so grateful and so secure in knowing as long as His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj is on the planet, we don't have to worry.
Srila Prabhupada had a lot of dream about Gitanagari. Prabhupada wanted to create a model Varnashram here in Gitanagari. Also, with Radha Damodar, I had a very intimate relationship. Those days when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was Prabhupada's secretary, and two of us were sharing the same room. Prabhupada made me the secretary for Indian affairs, and he asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj that I would be staying in the same room with him. And since then, that happened in Mayapur, and since then, wherever we went, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj and I stayed in the same room. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj had an altar with pictures. And his worshipable deity there was Sri Sri Radha Damodar. Because Tamal Krishna Maharaj started the Radha Damodar party along with his very, very intimate godbrother, Vishnujan Maharaj, and then Radha Damodar started to travel around USA. going to the universities and colleges, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj used to have programs. And that was such a nice program, such a successful program. They met so many devotees at that time. And there used to be a joke. Joke means there used to be a saying that Radha Damodar bus used to have, the altar was there inside the bus, and there was one way, one door to enter, and there was another door to come out. And the saying was that they would preach and bring people. They would have long hair, sometimes long beard as well. And they would enter with one door, and when they would come out of the other door, they would be shaved up and wearing dhoti and kurta and tilak and kantimala. Extremely powerful preachers. And then the next day, I was doing the Guru Puja of Prabhupada. And at that time I thought that Prabhupada also needs an altar. So that is how it all started. I desired to have the altar for Radha Damodar and Srila Prabhupada. Isn't Radha Damodar looking gorgeous now? I was offering the Aratik, and to me it seemed that Radha Damodar was smiling. They looked so happy. Nobody was prepared to actually do the job now. So that job.
In late 2004, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness decided to establish a center in Ujjain. In less than 10 months' time, a magnificent temple was built. The objective of ISKCON was not only to construct a temple, but help the growth of the city by developing various progressive projects. One such project was to feed 25,000 school children on a daily basis. In 2006, within 2 months' time, a high-tech kitchen was built. The kitchen boasts of the most modern equipment to serve 30,000 students a day. As required, the grain is pulverized into the pulverized flour is then transferred to the storeroom. The storage room is inspected every day to make sure a high level of cleanliness is maintained. Their shift starts from 4 o'clock in the morning. Dough is made in a highly hygienic way. Dough is transferred into the chapati making machine. Automatic chapati making machine makes 10,000 chapatis per hour. Some of the vegetable preparations and rice is mainly cooked in steam jackets. For taste and tradition, other methods are also used. Once all the preparations are done, it is time to pack the food to be delivered to safety and security. Each container is sealed. For 25,000 children is distributed in 175 schools. Considering the success of this project, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shri Sivraj Singh Ji Chauhan, visited the premises.
और हम चाहते हैं कि हम सब इकट्ठा होकर ये समाज की ये सेवा, देश की ये सेवा हम करते हैं. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Deshotarine. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, in the Gauriya Vaishnav Sampradaya, there is a custom of celebrating the spiritual master's appearance day as the Vyas Puja day. Vyasdev is the original guru for Vedic wisdom because he compiled the Vedas and divided the Vedas and presented it in a simplified way for the benefit of the living entities of the age of Kali. Vyasdev saw that the Kali Yuga living entities will become very degraded and totally averse to spiritual life. That's why he felt the need to present it in such a way that people could have access to the spiritual process in a simple and easy way. And actually it is Krishna who appeared as Vyasdev. Vyasdev is a literary incarnation of Sri Krishna. And the spiritual master is considered to be the representative of Vyasdev. Therefore, his appearance is seen as a manifestation of Srila Vyasdev's mercy. And that's why the custom is to celebrate his birthday as the Vyas Puja. On this, actually the spiritual master is worshipped as the representative of Srila Vyasdev. And for us, Srila Prabhupada is actually an incarnation of Vyasdev in a way. Because Prabhupada presented the Vedic wisdom in such a way that everybody, no matter how degraded, how fallen he may be, can have access to the Vedic wisdom and understand the purport of that wisdom and mold his life according to that and practice the process. So, in a way, for us, Srila Prabhupada is the perfect representative of Srila Vyasdev. And when I started to give initiation and my disciples started to or wanted to worship me, so that's why I just considered that I should introduce or take advantage of Srila Prabhupada's coming to the West and starting the Krishna consciousness movement and distribute Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy all over the world. And I had the opportunity to celebrate that day because my birthday and Srila Prabhupada's arrival in America falls on the same day, like 17th September. So that's why I decided to celebrate that day. Instead of worshipping me, I wanted everyone to glorify Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, whenever devotees want to celebrate my Vyas Puja, I want it to be celebrated as Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival. Because that's the day Srila Prabhupada went to America and Krishna consciousness movement became available to the world outside of India. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction is that this Krishna consciousness movement would spread all over the world, in every town and village. So that's why Mahaprabhu's prediction is becoming fulfilled through Srila Prabhupada's appearance, especially Srila Prabhupada's arrival in America. Prior to Prabhupada's appearing in America, arriving in America, it was Prabhupada's preparation for that. He was actually, by Krishna's arrangement, Prabhupada was waiting for the right time. And Krishna brought him to America when America was absolutely ready to receive him and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. And this is how Srila Prabhupada came and Krishna consciousness movement started. And within the short span of 10 years' time, we saw how it spread all over the world. And then even after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, we are seeing how this movement is growing, how this movement is expanding. And we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction is not going to go in vain. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction, Krishna consciousness movement is bound to spread all over the world in every town and village. And the personality who came to fulfill that prediction is Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, it's very important that we recognize the importance of Srila Prabhupada's appearance, the importance of Srila Prabhupada's presentation of Krishna consciousness, the arrangement that Srila Prabhupada made to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, and the arrangement that Srila Prabhupada made to secure every single devotee all over the world to practice the process of Krishna consciousness under the wonderful arrangement and guidance of Srila Prabhupada through his International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In this way, we can see how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's will is unfolding. Krishna consciousness movement is spreading all over the world, and it is all due to Srila Prabhupada. It is all due to Srila Prabhupada's divine arrangement, and it is through this arrangement of Srila Prabhupada that Krishna consciousness movement will spread all over the world. Therefore, let us celebrate Srila Prabhupada's arrival, Srila Prabhupada's contribution to this world, and recognize the glory of Srila Prabhupada, his real divine grace, and then only our purpose of getting involved in Krishna consciousness will be fulfilled. So let's all celebrate this day as Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival. And let's rejoice that Srila Prabhupada came, and due to his mercy, our lives have become successful. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Guru Maharaj is also a trustee of the GBC College for Leadership Development, and he also teaches in every residential. This is a one-year course that happens for the future leaders of ISKCON or potential leaders for ISKCON. They're already leaders, but they will become top leaders in ISKCON. So we are training them. And Guru Maharaj takes the time out of his busy schedule to come each semester to Mumbai. This happens in Govardhan Eco Village, a project of Radhanath Maharaj. And then he also offers an online course in Vaishnava etiquette. And you know Maharaj is an emblem of Vaishnava etiquette himself. So we are grateful to Maharaj for his guidance.
Stuck to me and like my jaw literally dropped was when I think we had that one girl from Nepal who asked the question, which can be a very sensitive question, about why we only worship Krishna or why most deities are Krishna deities and not Lord Ramachandra or Shiva. And I looked around and everyone was like, okay, how is Maharaj going to answer that question? but I was just so amazed with the sincerity and the skill that you answered that question, and the difference between Leela Purushottam and Maryada Purushottam and how we're here to enjoy. It just inspired me to go out and actually start sharing Krishna consciousness with people in a more humble way. And to me, you're an emblem of humility, and I've learned so much. So thank you so much, Maharaj.
Where Maharaj was mentioning the importance of youth, he mentioned one thing. Prabhupada tried reaching out to the aristocrats when he first came here, but they didn't respond, and then he went to the youth. That's how ISKCON boomed, and that actually gave me a little bit of push that it's actually now, I wouldn't say upon us, but I think we should take it upon us to propagate Prabhupada's mission as much as we can. Like, it's really inspired me to do whatever we can as young adults, because we have so much potential and so many resources available to us. So thank you very much.
And even though we know some of these stories, somehow hearing the stories from Guru Maharaj, the stories really enter deep into the heart, and I feel like I could almost visualize the pastimes, and also feeling that some more appreciation for Krishna and more love for Krishna.
What I wanted to say regarding this retreat is that Maharaj has spoken a number of times and given the example of a teacher on the level of PhD being able to give his knowledge expertly to any audience at all. And the example of that visiting Nepali girl was excellent example of that, because I consider Maharaj a PhD of Krishna consciousness.
Whenever somebody asks me that you are disciple of like which Guru Maharaj, and I always tell his name, they say, wow, he is such a wonderful speaker, he is such a wonderful kirtanier, you are so fortunate. So somehow that kind of pride comes, oh wow, I'm disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj.